Hit that record. Welcome, Galia. All right, let me change my view.
Hello, TJ.
Hey, I'm glad you could make it.
Yes, let's hope that I won't be cold again. See how it goes.
Awesome. I'm glad you could join us. All right, so we are going to use a chair today for part of our class as well. So have that available. We're not going to start with the chair, but do have the chair available and nearby. And I say this as I'm like, where's my chair? Have a chair nearby. All right, and she has moved, relinquishing my yoga mat back to me, but it looks like she has come back. All right, feet nice and wide. Let's just start with some hip circles, help warm up those hips. Suki's demonstrating a down dog for us. Rotating those hips around. Sit, sit, sit. Stay. Two more. Change directions. Taking it around. Excellent. Coming back into that neutral, shifting left to right. To get my start. As you shift, bend that knee just a little bit so you don't add some torsion into that knee. So we want to give it a little bend over those toes. Continue to lift through the arches so you have just that little bit of external rotation in the hips. So it's always a good thing to do this kind of movement with the hips, with the feet planted, so that we're moving the hip around the top of the femur as opposed to the femur in the hip. So we want to help increase that mobility. All right, so bring those feet just a little bit closer, about shoulder distance apart. Drop down into the knees, so I've got that nice little stance. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under and release. So stay loaded. Imagine your back is up against the wall. You're pressing your back into the wall. Think of like you're trying to squeeze between a wall. And tuck. And so we're going to add that chin. As we tuck the tailbone, we're going to bring that chin down. So what that does is that helps lengthen through the spine. We have an anterior and posterior longitudinal ligament that runs the back and the front of the spinous body. And sometimes those get overly out of alignment with one another. The front one becomes over lengthened. And so in this position, by bringing the chin down, we help to bring it all the way from that tailbone all the way up to the head to lengthen that, to help realign and position that spine. Couple more. And last one. We're going to turn back and face you, still keeping our feet shoulder distance apart. We're going to play with all four corners, if you will. So you're going to come to the front, keeping that little tuck, then slowly release as you come to the side. Take it to the back, to the side. So I'm bending my knees as I come through those movements. As I shift to the left, as I come to the back, both knees are bent, and then as I shift to the left on this side, coming forward on that. So to the right, my right leg is straight, my left leg is bended, and then to the back, bended, bent. Exhale, and inhale, and exhale to the back, and inhale to the side, and exhale, and inhale. So before, when we were just kind of taking it around, it was definitely more congruent. So now we're trying to gently stretch into those edges where you feel it like you can, if you push just a little bit more, you can go a little deeper into that stretch. Press and press. We're going to change our breath before we're inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So I want you to exhale on each one. Release and inhale, exhale as you press. Inhale, exhale as you squeeze. Lift that pelvic floor. Inhale, exhale as you press up and out. Really feeling that stretch on that hip. Inhale, exhale, pressing to the back. You may feel a stretch across that sacrum by that tailbone. Inhale, exhale over to that other side. And a couple more. Quick inhale and exhale. Quick inhale and exhale. Again. And exhale. All right. Staying loaded, we're going to try that circle again and just kind of notice if it feels a little bit looser. Now that we've kind of rubbed off those hard spots, if you will. Think of like a rock polisher. And to go around and around and around to smooth those edges. So by coming into those shorter areas for a little bit longer time, we can smooth those edges a little bit easier. Two more. Last one. All right, come to the front. So we're gonna go the other direction with that lengthening and exhale or inhale. Exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale, and inhale, and exhale. One more time with that breath. All right, quick inhale, exhale, little push, feel that stretch. Inhale, exhale, press to the back. So you're really thinking of dumping your contents out. Inhale, exhale over to the side. Inhale, exhale to the front, lifting that pelvic floor, shortening that distance between the belly button and the pubic bone. Inhale, exhale to the side. So when you come to the back, make sure you're not dumping into your back. You're just kind of pushing back, having your neck and shoulders nice and long as you're pushing back here. You want to feel that stretch right along that tailbone. And over to the right. Quick inhale, exhale to the front. Quick inhale, exhale to the left. Quick inhale, exhale to the back. Remember, we're not dumping, we're supporting. Over to that right. Inhale, exhale, under. Inhale, exhale to that left. Inhale, exhale to the back. Side. Back to that front, take it around. Think of having that much bigger circle than you had before. Shifting our weight in our knees and maybe even noticing that our knees feel a little bit looser, having stretched that fascia all the way into our feet up towards our hips. Two more. And come center, we're gonna inhale, lift. Exhale down. So we're gonna step that right foot out. So continuing with our hip stuff. So we're not too terribly wide. So if it's your, like, think of a little wider than shoulder distance and that foot is turned out. So those feet are in that perpendicular position lined up for our warrior two. We're gonna have that knee bent, line up the heel with the arch of the back foot, lifting through those arches. So you've got that exterior rotation happening in the femur, as well as kind of helping support through that knee. So we're gonna start with that left to right again. And then just notice what you notice. You may notice that you've got some tightness in those adductors. And you may feel that go all the way down even to the inside of the knee. And that's part of an adductor called your gracilis. And that gracilis shares an attachment with your sartorius, which attaches to the front of the hip. And then your semitendinosus, which attaches to that tuberosity that you sit on. And so we want to make sure that we address those attachments so that we can have healthy, happy knees as well. Still lifting through those arches. And you may notice I'm kind of coming over that front knee just a little bit. Feel that stretch on that lateral ankle as we're working those feet. So those feet are active as this little suction cups on the floor. And last one, coming back to center. Add that soft, little, even more micro bend in that back knee. Give me that tuck and tilt. And just notice, especially with this leg turned out, you may feel it right in that attachment, right on that pubic bone. Check in, make sure those hips are nice and level as you're doing that. Exhale, squeeze. Lifting that pelvic floor. Two more. Excellent. Come into neutral. We're going to take those arms out. Walk that back foot out just a length, about the width of that foot. So we're going to come into that warrior two with the arms, but we're going to take the hips around in a circle. So we've got a little bit bigger stance. So we're moving the femur or the hips over the head of the femur by moving our hips around. Palms are up. So imagine trying to keep that knee as if somebody's pulling that knee, keeping that knee over the ankle as we're rotating those hips around. So from the side, I'm really kind of sticking my booty in the back, pulling it to the front. So think of stirring, getting the edges of the bowl with that spatula, still lifting through the arches, soft bend in that back knee. 4, 3, last 2. Last one, change directions, back and around. Doing great. Two more. And last one. Turn that foot in, release the arms down, inhale up. Lift that chin off the chest and exhale down. Grab a quick drink and then we'll move over to that left side. All right, so on that left side, remember our feet are about shoulder distance. We're going to turn that left foot out. So we're going to our warrior two. Soft bend in that knee, hands on the hips. Make sure you're not dumping forward. Hips are level to start. And we're just going to shift side to side. Feel that stretch down that inner thigh. And then feel that stretch down the inner thigh. Again, working on that gracilis and sartorius. We'll get to that semitendinosus a little bit later. Exhaling as we get to that edge. Still lifting through those arches, suction cups on those feet. Even pull the shoulder back a little bit. Notice you feel a little bit of a stretch going on in the back where the lats come up. Pressing back. And even into those lower traps a little bit. 4 more. Last 2. And last ones. Excellent. Come center. Make sure you've got that nice soft bend in the back leg. Imagine somebody's pulling your knee forward. Give me that forward and back. You need to, we do want to step that foot up just a little bit. And add that pelvic tilt and back. Arches are still lifted. Those suction cup feet. We tuck and tilt. One more. Last 2. Last one. Excellent. Give me that nice rotation around. We are getting that full bowl. Shifting our hips all the way around. Not quite the hula, but we're working on our hula skills, if you will. One more. Last 2. Last one. Change directions. Taking it around. Exploring each corner as you land there. If you need to stay just a second longer to help lengthen that out, You may find when you come to that pelvic tilt, you feel a little bit of a catch in your ischial tuberosity. That's that semi-tendinosis we talked about. Last 3, 2, and last 1. Excellent. Come back to center. Bring those hands up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale out. Toes are turned towards the front corners of your mat. Inhale up. Exhale down. Moving from our sunflowers and our moonflowers. Every time we come down with those hands heart center, I encourage you to feel yourself come down a little bit more, really focus on taking those toes or knees over those pinky toes. Inhaling up, pressing away from the floor. And then just kind of landing here at the top. And then as you come down, allow yourself to come all the way down till it feels like you've got that nice little stretch. Just taking your time to come back up. As you get down, if you feel like you're able, bring those feet a little bit wider. Let those knees drift over the pinky toes. Inhale, lift up. Exhale into that sunflowers. Inhale up. Really let those legs open as you come down. Inhale up. Nice long breath into that sunflowers. All right, we're going to change our breath. I want you to exhale. And I want you to inhale. As you inhale, allow your pelvic floor to drop and relax and see how much further you can go down. Exhaling up. Inhaling down. Taking your time. Exhale, lift. Really think of like lifting something up. So the work is up here and not in the base. Inhaling down. Relaxing that pelvic floor, lifting through the arches. Exhaling up, really lifting. Imagine lifting that weight, engaging those biceps. Inhaling down. A few more at this pace. Exhale, lift. If you're able, these last 2, walk those feet out just a little bit more. Inhaling down. Exhale, lift. Last one, inhaling down. And exhale, lift. Excellent. Release those arms down. Turn those feet so they're parallel to one another. Bring them in just a little bit. So we're going to shift into that side and then over into the other side. As you start to shift, you may feel like you can take and widen that out, but you're still lifting through this arch as you're coming away from it. So think of this dynamic tension. So you're lifting through the arch as you're pushing away with that hip. That helps to encourage that lengthening through that inner thigh. So that when our adductors get tight, it actually internally rotates the thighs, which causes that low back pain, causing that hip to actually rotate under because of those attachments. So we're exhaling as we come over. We're playing with our breath here. Last one here with that exhale. Last one here with that exhale. Excellent. Inhale at the top. We're going to exhale over. I want you to exhale at the top and then inhale as you come over. And just notice what you notice. Notice if you feel a little ease in your body, in your joints. Exhale up. Again, we're lifting up. We're going to inhale lower to the knee. Exhale, lift. Inhale lower to the knee. Still that dynamic tension. Suction cupping that foot to the floor. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower the hands to that knee. Inhale, lower to that knee. If you feel like you can and want to, take it out a little bit wider. Still, we're pushing to the outside blade of that foot with that inhale. Exhale, lift. And inhale. Pressing along that outside, allowing that inside to lift and lengthen. Exhale, lift. Doing great. Inhale, lower. All right, these next couple, if you're able, reach to that floor and notice the difference. Exhaling, inhaling, you can come to the knee and then slide down to that floor, allowing yourself to come just that last little bit. Exhaling, inhaling down. A little scary at first, and then drop down to those hands. Exhale. And inhale. You're doing so good. I'm going to have you do 2 more. Exhale up. And inhale to that knee. And then reach to the floor if you'd like. Inhaling. Exhale as you come up. Inhaling down. Kind of using the abdominals on that knee to finish getting all of that air out before you come up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhaling. And exhaling. Last on this side. And last on this side. Excellent. Inhale those arms down. Bring those feet in. Roll those shoulders. Grab a quick drink. And then grab your chair. I kind of have mine at an angle so you can kind of see a little bit. So we're going to just start with that foot in the middle of the chair. And the idea is I actually want you to let that knee kind of drift out as you come forward. So you are looking for your pinky toe on the inside of your shin. So just think of a wall right here. That's as far as you're going. You're not going super deep. And my foot is at that angle of our warrior 1. So I'm gently pressing out to stretch that sartorius, which is part of an internal rotator. Attaches to that pubic bone and then into that pizzancere where that adductor one does. We're just encouraging a little bit of lengthening through here. So I'm going to turn so you can see head on, keep moving. So I'm in that warrior 1 position and then letting that knee drift off to the side so I can still see my pinky toe. So I'm coming out and then coming back up. So it's coming over the ankle and then drifting, coming back in. So just that little tiny off to the side. Give that knee that extra little stretch. Remember, only go to that point where you start to feel that tension and then come off. Don't press past it into pain. Blending with our breath, exhaling as we come forward, inhaling and exhaling. 2 more. And last one. Excellent. So we're going to turn that back foot. So that back foot is not turned out quite so far. We do want that soft knee. So you're going to come to a bit of a wider base and walking my leg over. My foot still stays in the center. So I'm going to come into this position here with my knee just past, and I'm seeing my pinky toe. So I'm going to actually inhale now using my hand. I'm gently guiding it out, inhaling, and then exhaling, pushing away from the chair. So use the chair to push yourself off so you don't feel unstable. Oftentimes when we change our breath, our bodies aren't used to that change of support. So when we're exhaling, it causes tension in those muscles, but we're focusing on these muscles to allow them to lengthen. And so that's why we want to help use the body to do that. So inhale, typically when we exhale, we're bending the knees. So that's maybe that little instability you're feeling. And then exhale, that's where we're using the chair to push away from. Inhale, kind of helping it out to the side. You may even feel a stretch in that standing leg and coming back to center. Inhaling, pressing it out. And exhaling. Couple more. And you can leave one more. Now you hold it there. So bring that knee right over the ankle. You're going to turn that back foot. So I'm going to turn so I can face you. So we're going to come into a modified triangle. So that foot stays on the chair. My back foot has turned, so it's perpendicular. And I'm coming down onto the chair with my hand. I'm actually going to use my arm to press my knee out and have some tension between the upper and lower body. So think of having the knee in the back of your armpit, using it to help anchor yourself into that triangle. If you'd like, you can reach up or just keep the hand here into, and maybe even, so this is how you start to work towards a bound triangle. You get an individual on the chair and practice getting into that deep pose and supporting yourself away from the leg while reaching up and under. But today we want to have that tension to help us open into that chest. So let that elbow anchor in and hand is just kind of drifting to that chair. Gently looking over the shoulder. Two more breaths here. Nice long breaths, both the inhale and the exhale. Slowly coming up. Rotate that foot. Face that other foot. We're going to flex in, lengthen through the spine, soft little bend in that knee, and coming over. So in this position, have that back, that standing knee bent, and just the tiniest of tucks, and then pressing it back. Tuck it under, and press it back. Using that tailbone, using that hip attachment that we sit on a lot to help lengthen that area. Inhale as you tuck. Exhale as you press it back. Couple more. Excellent. So we're going to settle in. By that, I mean you're going to kind of relax here. So keep that tailbone in a comfortable position, and you're just going to gently point and flex that foot. If this feels too deep, you're welcome to come up to using the back of the chair for support, still maintaining just a little soft micro bend so you're not hyperflexing into that knee. Exhaling, pointing the toe, inhaling, lifting up. Last two. Last one. Excellent. Gently coming up, grabbing the back of that knee, bending that knee. We're going to lean forward ever so slightly so that knee is right over the ankle. We're going to use that hand on the knee to lengthen through the spine, and then we're going to go into our nice little rotation. Be sure and bend that back knee, lift through that arch. Use your eyes to look into the peripheral vision, allowing yourself to rotate that much further. Big inhale. And exhale, release the head, the neck, the chest, the ribs, and the abdominals. Releasing that foot to the floor. Inhale, lift up. And just take a second. Move those hips around and notice how different that right hip feels from the left. Even thinking of all those attachments we talked about on the pubic symphysis, on the pelvic bone, and then up and into that ischial tuberosity. Do a few figure eights. Just notice how they feel. All right, let's see if we can even that up. So moving to that other side. Having that foot in that warrior one position. Foot on the chair is in the middle of the chair. We're just moving a little bit over, tracking that knee out. In the side of the knee, you see that pinky toe. So we're coming up and rearing over. Exhaling as we come forward. Doing great. You may notice how much easier it feels on this standing leg because we've done all that stretching to continue to lift through that arch as we allow ourselves to come into this position. You notice that there's not that tightness in the front of that standing leg like there was in the other one when we first started. Two more. Exhaling and inhaling. Last one. And inhale. All right, we're going to change our breaths. We're going to exhale, pressing away from the chair. Inhale, coming down and using that knee for support as we inhale, kind of give it that extra little press. And then exhale, push away from the chair, coming back. Inhaling as we lean it over, gently guiding it over there. And we might feel that a little bit of instability because we don't usually inhale when our leg moves into this position. So we're retraining our nervous system to understand that we do have this extensibility and that support by pressing off the chair. Inhaling, using that leg to push ourselves back up. Last three. Pressing away from that chair. Two more. And last one. Excellent. So adjusting our back foot, we move my chair, so we're going into that modified triangle, or working towards our bound triangle. So that foot is perpendicular, foot on the chair, perpendicular to that, lines up more to the heel. So we're coming down on that inside. We're using that elbow to press against the leg to help open that body, allowing that hand to just kind of float to the chair. You again have that option of coming up into that full expression or relaxing it on the hip, on the low back, towards that bound triangle here. Lifting through the arch in that standing leg. You may even notice that you feel like you have a little bit more ability to rotate on this side than you might have had before. Maintaining that tension between the upper and lower body. Couple more breaths here. Excellent. Slowly bending that knee a little deeper as we exhale. Inhaling, coming up. We're going to rotate that back foot facing that chair, lifting up through that foot. So that leg is nice and lengthened. So you have that option once again to be on the back of the chair or onto the chair. Apparently this one's a little tighter than the other side. So I'm going to stay up a little higher as we move with our breath. Tucking that tailbone under. So we're working that attachment on the glute for that hamstring, moving through. So if it helps, think of as you're exhaling almost like a cat and then into that cow position. So that's the movement that we're doing with the hips and even adding that little bit with the thoracic spine and the chin. So you're exhaling, drop it down. And then inhale, lifting up. Couple more. Excellent. From here, soft micro bend in that standing leg, letting that knee track over that second toe. We're going to gently point that toe as we exhale and inhale, release, pulling it up. So what we're doing is as we're inhaling, we're allowing that whole posterior chain all the way from our eyebrows down to the bottom of our toes to be lengthened. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. So as you inhale, really think of bringing that breath from the eyebrows down the back to lengthen that whole posterior chain. Inhaling, exhaling as we point. Last two. And last one. Excellent. Relax that foot up. Gently pull on that back knee to bring yourself up. Bringing that knee right over that ankle. Gently pressing away and then exhaling into that rotation. Lengthening through the spine. Looking through your peripheral vision to allow yourself that deeper rotation. As you exhale, release the eyes, the head, the neck, the chest, the ribs, and the abdominal coming back to center, releasing that foot to the floor. Grab another drink, and then we'll sit on the floor and put our feet up onto our chair for one last little hip mobility. So with our feet on the chair, we're going to allow our knees to flop out. So we're going to be in a butterfly position, but our feet will be elevated. So coming down with your bottom right close to your chair, you're going to bring your feet up And then as I mentioned, you're gonna let your legs kind of fall out. So bring the bottom is as close to touching as possible. So laying down first and then letting those legs fall out. So you're in a bit of a supported butterfly, walking the heels towards you so that it's comfortable on your ankles, adjusting your pants as necessary. So all we're going to do from here, those hip circles that we started with, just find those areas that you may feel like in the back. Oftentimes our SI joint becomes locked, causing that back pain. And so allowing those hips to come open, it locks the hip in, and we're actually moving the sacrum, trying to get the SI joints to be a little bit happy. So we're trying to grease the wheels by having our legs turned out. So it doesn't allow as much hip mobility, so that mobility has to happen in that sacrum. So we're encouraging that with that movement. And if you find that as you're coming around, your legs kind of rock back and forth, that's an indication that we're bringing those legs along for the ride. That sacrum's like, whoop, that's as far as I'm willing to go. So now we're going to bring that knee. Just allow it to happen. So that you're drawing those circles nice and big like we did before. Two more. Last one this direction. Now change directions. Two more. Last one. And coming center. Gently bring those knees together. Slide those calves onto your chair and walk those shoulder blades underneath the body. So just allow the legs to relax. If they fluff out, that's okay. Allowing yourself to relax into that Shavasana. Opening the hands, opening the shoulders. Think of yourself melting open as if you're laying across a tree in the forest. Enjoying the sun on your face, on your arms, on your feet. Imagine breathing in that fresh air, maybe even the smell of grass or flowers that are nearby. As you breathe in that peacefulness of the area that you're imagining yourself in. And just look around in your mind's eye, enjoying the view. Allowing a smile to come on your face. Imagine breathing that smile into every cell in your body. As you continue to breathe in wellness. Feel what wellness feels like as you breathe it in. Breathe it down into every part of your body, all the way down into your fingertips and into the tips of your toes. Allow your neck to lengthen as you continue to lay here. And your shoulders to relax even deeper into the floor. your next exhale, slowly bring those knees up one at a time to your chest. Gently lengthening through that low back. Bringing those thighs towards the rib cage, maybe even opening up the knees just a little bit further, imprinting that back into the floor. When you're ready, find a comfortable position on the right side of the body, supporting that head and neck so that neck is in alignment with the rest of your spine. On your next exhale, using that top hand, push yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Moving your chair out of the way if you need to. Crossing those legs. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders back and down. Slowly begin circling around. And again, just kind of notice what you notice. Notice if your hips feel like they're able to open a little bit more. Notice whether or not you can go deeper around those knees. Notice whether or not you feel like your hips can move a little bit more in those SI joints. And coming up, changing those legs. And changing that direction. Same thing. Create an awareness in those areas that may have felt a little more stuck. And breathing into those areas as if you turned a light on in your house in a room you forgot you had. Bring that light into and illuminate that area in your body. Excellent. Coming up to a nice seated position. Really feel those ischial tuberosities underneath your glutes. Roll those shoulders up and around. Press to the front. Round out through the spine. Gently dropping the chin to the chest. Bringing the hands on the knees. Sitting up nice and tall. Press away from those knees. Shoulders up and down. Press back. Press out to the side. Pulling those shoulder blades back and down. Excellent. Release those hands back to the knee. Gently press away, lengthen the spine. Shrug those shoulders back and around, pressing down and back. Gently lifting that chin off the chest. Rotating the hands up, big inhale in, up, breathing in, one for the mind. Exhaling to the side. Breathing in, one for the body. Exhaling to the other side. And breathing in, one for the spirit. Bringing the hands heart center. Namaste. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today, ladies. You've done wonderful. I hope this helps all of those pieces and parts that we worked on today. You have a fabulous evening, and I look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you, TJ. Thank you.
Welcome. Have a fabulous evening.
You too.
Thank you, TJ.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.